when I met him and I started the routine. You know, my routine was getting up in the mornings, train, do a lot of running, exercise, go to the beach. So it became an integral part of our lifestyle.
And that was a look at the new movie Marley, which is being released by Magnolia Pictures. And Rachel Dodes is here with me to give us some insight into the new picture. Hi, thanks for being here.
Sure.
So Bob Marley, the reggae legend, he's been dead for over 30 years. Yet this company is betting that he will be a box office draw. What is it about him that is so fascinating still to many followers?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fascinating character. His music is loved all around the world. He's, you know, as you said, he's been dead for over 30 years, and he has almost 40 million Facebook fans and hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. So, and you know, these are accounts maintained by his family. He had 11 different children with 7 different women, which may explain why it took so long to get the entire family on board to make a movie. I mean, many have
I was wondering why now? Is that the reason? Had these filmmakers tried for a while to get this made and it just took a long time to get the okay from the family?
Yeah, well, with these particular filmmakers, it took about 6 years. Martin Scorsese was supposed to do it, but he had a scheduling conflict. Then Jonathan Demme came on, and he had creative differences with the financier Steve Bing, who's behind the project. So then they got Kevin MacDonald, who has been wanting to make a Marley documentary for years, ever since he shot The Last King of Scotland in Africa and realized how many people in Uganda loved Bob Marley.
So what will we learn from him? What will viewers take away from this movie? What's the focus of it?
Well, it's about his life, and I think what's so incredible is just seeing the little shack he grew up in the middle of Jamaica, in the middle of nowhere, and how he rose to be this international superstar. And I think there's a lot of you know, just his life. He was a Rastafarian, so he obviously, smoking pot was part of his religion, and I think that there's kind of a bias thinking he's, you know, this lazy guy from the Caribbean, but he really, really worked so hard to be, you know, who he was, and he died at such a young age, and it's really tragic, but he left behind such an extensive body of work, so you have to think this was someone who had motivation like you could not even believe.
Right, and you mentioned sort of the pot smoking, and I understand the release date 4/20 has some significance for people. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, 4/20, I think starting in the 70s, it's sort of a code for pot smoking, and so Magnolia Pictures is doing a day and date release, so you can watch this on demand at home, and I guess they wanted to sort of nod and wink at, you know, that community, maybe to get them on board, even though the movie is about so much more than that.
And interesting, this day and date release. For people who don't really know what that is, it's unusual in the sense that it hits the theaters the same day we can get it at home, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a new trend, and Magnolia Pictures has really pioneered this, releasing movies on demand at the same time that they're going to theaters, and it's going to be in, you know, 50 different markets. But I think to reach a broader audience, especially people who, you know, aren't in those markets where there is a theater showing it, it could be a positive thing. So it's really an experiment, because this is the first time they're doing it with a movie about someone who is so famous.
And traditionally, do rock documentaries do well? What are the expectations here on how this film might do?
They do not traditionally do well. I mean, I think a lot of the world's great directors have attempted to make rock documentaries and have done so very successfully, but not financially successfully. I mean, you know, Martin Scorsese has done a number of them. Jonathan Demme did one. They just, you know, they're like documentaries. They make a few $1 million. It's not something that you do. Yeah, it's a passion project. So Magnolia's hoping that this day and date release will enable them to reach out to millions of people and maybe do better than the typical rock doc.
And is it thought that this film may have a shot at doing that, given the social media following that Bob Marley has versus other rock documentaries that have been released?
That's what they're hoping, yeah, and they're promoting it really heavily on Facebook, on Twitter. You can even buy the movie via Facebook. You know, so there's links to Amazon, to iTunes. So, you know, they're really trying to leverage that, and it's a really low-cost way of marketing the movie and getting the most bang for their buck.
And you know, the family had a lot of creative input as to the movie that was made. You mentioned before that with one of the earlier directors there had been some creative differences. You know, was there input from them and in how this movie was actually made in the end?
Yeah, the family was on board from the beginning, and there's a lot of really illuminating interviews with people from Bob Marley's far-flung family, and it is really, really fascinating.